Alive.
You know what page it is?
FiveAlive.
209. 209.
So now we have to come up with mottos because everybody wants mottos.
FiveAlive.
Okay, FiveAlive.
Daily wisdom.
Happy lively morning to you. Happy lively morning to you. Okay, Parsha Shemini,
209.
page 209. Second reading, Leviticus 9:17 through 23. After Aaron finished performing his sacrificial rites, he blessed the Jewish people. Wow. Beautiful. What was the continue? Oh, that was from here. About Aaron and all the peace and loving that he chased after. And actually gave me a little strength because of a recent discussion that I've had with some fellow Chassidim. And in the conclusion, yeah. Are you cold? No. You just don't want it there? You don't mind? To basically make sure to give people the love that they need in a healthy ratio. And it's not easy. It really isn't. And here you have it. Aaron Cohen. Love peace and pursue peace. I think that word pursue peace kind of denotes. One of those two.
Consummate humility. Vayisha Aaron Yadav El Ha'am Vayevar Varchei Pam Vigom Vayikra Tes Chaf Beis. And Aaron lifted up his hands towards the people and blessed them. Why does it say not and? That's a great question. I mean, most of the time when you bless someone, you have your hands over their head. So, I mean, I could imagine that he had to lift his hands to bless everyone.
It's like, why you do this?
It's funny how it actually happened. That's the crazy thing. And it's like we don't expect, like, you know, like the first reaction is like, in general, it's like, F off, you stupid piece of crap. You're annoying me. Get out of my face. Then, like, you think like that's gonna work because, like, that's your reaction. It's your emotions speaking. And like, maybe the thing I don't want to do will actually get me to the place I want to get to. And yeah, it's just so strange. But I think you're finally starting to like yourself. That's why it's showing. That's a great thing. Like you don't try to love other people. Like I'm saying, you already did it to like an extent I didn't. Like I think is a level to reach, but I don't know. Now it's like, yeah, it's going up levels. It's just pretty cool. And by the way, earlier today I was thinking to myself, like I've never reached a point where it was like, it was in thought. Like I'm saying, I still have problems with action, but like, it's mostly in my head now. It's just about what I'm thinking, which is really cool. It was mostly like, what am I doing? Action is one level. I think thought is like, yeah, it's tough to reach a level where thoughts are being controlled, but like that's better than struggling with actions, because I think I got actions more under control.
I remember learning actually in FiveAlive spoke about this. You just triggered it. About when the war is brought to the city, so then even if you win, right, like to your city, then even if you win, you lost. Because the war is at your city and in your city. So there's no way not to lose. Lose out, meaning in something. But when you go out there and you bring the fight to them, so then, right? So then you can actually win, even if you lose. So then, okay, you can come back, you can regroup, you can do it again, whatever it is. So I think that's my initial thought on the idea of the action and the. By the way, there's also speech. Speech is somewhere between the thought and the action, but if you bring the fight to the thought, then it's like almost we'll never reach to the action because the fight's at the thought. Anyways, just a thought. Just a thought. Good one. Although Aaron was aware that it was his performance of this special day's ritual that would bring God's presence into the tabernacle, and he did everything exactly as Moses instructed, he still felt unworthy of his role. Memory of his participation in the incident of the
golden calf will still weigh heavily on him. To continue, Aaron expressed these sentiments when he blessed the people, applying the text of their priestly blessings to the day here circumstance, yeah, it's circumstance. He said, "We know that God presence can only dwell in the tabernacle if He has forgiven us for the incense of the golden calf. Since I played a central role in this incident, His forgiveness from all of us depends upon His forgiving me. There are effects by myself, therefore I must appeal for
Therefore, until we know that God has forgiven me, I cannot bless your efforts by myself. Therefore, I must appeal to God Himself to bless you and watch over you. May God shine His face to you and grace you with His presence as a result of His being partial towards you, forgiving you for the sin of the golden calf and thereby granting you peace." Something that's just been weighing heavily on my mind is like the idea of like getting over something. I guess any challenge, like the challenge is usually something that like takes up our existence. Like Levi was saying today, like, you know, our problem, like the things we do become us, like in our head, or in our own heads, even though that's not. I mean, that's what I like took out, but like getting over it just means, right, you overcoming one challenge to face the next. But I feel like there's some challenges that just, like, I thought I got over it. You know, you think you get over the peak, and then like next thing you know, there's another massive peak to get over. And like, bro, I just did this 50 times. Like, when is this over? And I don't know. Like, I don't know where's the encouragement coming from. I don't know when. Like, it's not like I know there's a certain height I'm gonna reach. There's nobody that's climbed this mountain before, this exact mountain before. So, like, this could go on forever in my mind. But I guess that's the cool thing because I'm the first one to climb.
There are people that sure mountain climbers. I mean, you find one in person and you speak to them. I'm sure that there is a message in there that it's not about getting to the top, and that a mountain climber will enjoy the climb. And I think that's where strength comes from. It's not necessarily about the getting to the top and overcoming the greatest peak and, you know, mastering the mountain. You end up there, but not because you're trying to get there. You're on the journey. You're going up. And especially when it comes to, like, you know, big mountains and difficult climbs, I think that it comes about the climb. And I mean, like, if the point is to get to the top, there's ways to get to the top, right? You can take a helicopter. Sure, it'll be a lot easier, right? Not everywhere can you take a helicopter. But I'm just saying, you know, the idea is there. but it's about the climb. That's why people do it. Mount Everest. Nobody's like, I flew to the top of Mount Everest. Nobody cares if you flew to the top, right? Base camp. Anyways, you hike up the top. That's part of the journey. I have something quite radical to say. Oh, well, I think it's quite radical. So, I guess next time I'll try to remember based on what Levi was saying, and then you just like made it spark my mind.
I mean, it was saying that we know that God presence can only dwell in the tabernacles if He has forgiven us for the indents of the golden calf. So I guess, I mean, like, even if we do something wrong, saying we don't have to go to the like we don't have to go anywhere. It could just like we don't have to go to the like the Mizbeach, let's say, or is there, let's say, saying when we do something bad, we have to go and do a sacrifice. But I mean, I guess Moshe had to sacrifice something that was valuable because the Jews did something bad, and I guess he sacrificed himself to go back up and ask for forgiveness. But I mean, we could go even without sacrificing anything, we could still forgive. Like, even if we do something bad, like, we still have to forgive what we did. We have to say sorry what we did. We have to get forgiveness. Yeah, that's what pointed. That's what I thought was good.
Yeah, did they say sorry after? Were they apologizing? Sorry, Aaron was like a hippie, and yeah, he experienced quite a bit of drug-like experiences in his life, spiritual experiences, but the real thing. I don't know. Everyone will say the same thing, like about their spiritual experiences, but like, yeah, most of them can't be true, just by definition. Because if throughout history everyone who had a spiritual experience was saying the truth, yeah, there's a lot of contradictions. I don't enjoy the climb. That's what I'm saying. I don't see a reason to enjoy it. It's like most points during this climb, for like a lot of things, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to be there. I want to sit on a couch watching TV, like whatever that means. But that's what I want to do. Fire! You had a sick costume for prom. I loved it. Yeah.
I completely didn't get his costume, actually, but Chaim, it is good to see you.
What is this?
I don't know, some jacket of something. I don't know. I don't even know. Anyways, so he was saying, this is what I understood from what Levi was saying this morning. Levi. He was saying about, that you should identify yourself, what is you, and then what's like the external stuff. That's how he started off, basically. What's external? Like, this is not me. This could be the thoughts that are coming into me. This could be a challenge. Could be even something that I did. But that's something that's pushing me in one way or another, but it's not the actual me. So basically, to identify and stick with what is you, which is, I want to contrast into, for example, people these days that like call themselves by a temptation. So, for example, gay, right? They call themselves gay, or other people call them gay, whatever it is. The point is, why saying gay? Is he gay? He's not. What if like or homosexual? Like, why is his identity becoming homosexual? He be a regular human being like everybody else. He has a temptation like everybody else. I mean, he has his temptation. You have your temptation, whatever. So that's what I understand is the difference between making something your identity or it's a challenge that's coming my way. So, words for thought. Thoughts for thought.
Just thinking about I was thinking of what we were discussing in the beginning. How I was saying that, like, yeah, before, like, when I was watching these the FiveAlive, like, I only had like a hat for a few days and then not, and then I started not wearing a hat. Like, I mean, is that really what I am supposed to be? Like, am I supposed to really like have a hat and jacket like the whole day wearing a white shirt? I mean, like, most of the time we don't know what we want to do, but like, I mean, I was thinking, like, if I said something to myself, like, what would I want to tell myself in the future? Like, I have opportunities of recording myself or just being on live action, or like on FiveAlive. I could just like say something and like in like 10 years or something, I can like go back and, oh wow, I said that, like, and like, I mean, like, it goes also to this too, like how do we know how they forgave God? Like, we don't know what they did. Like, they could say, yeah, this is what we're supposed to do, this is what happened back then, and then next thing you know, they like
Chaim.
Good morning, Isaac. Good morning, Shalom. Good morning, Yitzi. Good morning, Chaim. Baruch Hashem, this has been one of the craziest few weeks of my life. It was a little scary at first. I just started my own company where I'm doing product photography and other photography. But I was worried that I didn't have enough money for the first, like, the beginner's gear. The beginner's gear is a lot of money, and I needed it, and I was like very worried about it. And I was freaked out because I didn't know if I could blow all this money. And then I wake up one day and I just have this money sitting in my bedroom. I swear, this is like the craziest thing. I just wake up and boom, there's all the money there. And I was like, all you have to do is just have faith in Hashem, and boom, money just shows up at your doorstep. No, I'm saying I got paid for a bunch of jobs that I did in the past, and and I didn't get paid, and I didn't even think about it, and I was freaking out the whole time. And I was like, you know what, Hashem has it, and boom, one day comes, all the money's in my bank account, and all this gear is here now. So Baruch Hashem, life is crazy. Everything's about believing in and betachin in Hashem. And it's scary. It's a scary thing to do, to say Hashem actually runs me. Hashem really controls it. Because we, as humans, like to think we run it. And that's the bigger problem, because we start playing something called God. And when we play something called God, when things don't go our way, we get pissed off because we're not God. And we don't always run the world. Everything is run by Hashem, and you don't see that.
I have a theory about that. I have a theory that, like, I don't know, like, I've gotten angry at things and I've just accepted things. And I think there's the difference is my anger just, like, didn't let me see that things worked out at the end. Maybe I was so angry I didn't even have enough time to examine the situation to see if everything worked out. So I don't know. But, like, I feel like if I was really angry in a certain situation and things still worked out, I'd be like, okay, that just happened to work out. But, like, if I'm happy about it, I'm gonna, like, blame it on God. I don't know. I like I'm willing to give God credit, but, like, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna work out either way sometimes. Maybe God's gonna have to prove me wrong in order for that to be disproven, my theory to be disproven, and then I'll see the light. Yeah. Woo. I don't know. I'm not happy at God right now, but I don't care. He doesn't care. We're chilling anyway. We'll get past our differences. Honestly, sometimes I just don't care what is me. Like, I want to do stuff. I just want to do things. That's it.
So there's a few words like acting, right? When you act, it's either like an action or you're faking it, right? Like, I'm acting as if, or it's like the action is there. It's like the act. The act is the real thing. So it could be like opposites, and I just realized another word, which is playing. So playing is as that, like, you're you're playing. It's like, it's actual, you're dealing with it. Or like you're playing a role. It's not really you. So playing God means what? I think playing God means that it's not really you. You're just playing as if. So then I would agree with you, Chaim. As opposed to playing God, like really playing God, as in like realizing that I am God. That's the real way to play God. That means that I'm trusting Him and knowing that really me and God at the same time, as we were one, decided on all the stuff that I'm experiencing and whatever I'm going through. So yeah, then I can trust in God. Because trust in myself. It doesn't have to be a contradiction. In fact, not trusting would be a contradiction. Does that make sense? It does to me.
Back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, like we don't know back, like before we got the Torah, like we didn't know that this whole thing was getting written down. Like we didn't know that, yeah, that we did the golden calf and all these things, and like we didn't really know that we were getting written down. Like if I like, yeah, we all jumped, like we all went into the sea. Like maybe we didn't know what we're like when we don't know that we're gonna make this extra step, but God knows that we're gonna make the extra step because it's written down that, yeah, this guy's gonna make that extra step, but we don't understand that we're making that extra step. But once nowadays, like people are like, okay, this is what's happening, this is what was in the past, but how's that like fixing our future? I mean, like once we when we realize that we have the Torah, we're realizing that God is there and that He is the one that's going to help us out. But like we didn't know, like back then they didn't know that they were going to do the golden calf. Like I didn't know I was going to curse someone out. Like how would you know?
A little bit into what Yitzi was saying. I don't know if he was heading there, but it's funny because someone was telling me that when you die, you always have to. The only thing that people remember about you are the moments they had with you. So always be a nice person and never be an a-hole. And I said, no, just never be an a-hole because you're not an a-hole. I don't think he liked that answer, but whatever, very different. But Isaac, I feel like what you were saying was, it says in Tanya a lot how when Hashem creates every person, He puts a part of Himself in us. So theoretically, we are a part of God, so we are a God. Which also brings me to another question. What does that mean? He puts like a piece of Him in us. It's like, is there a bunch of pieces of God? Like He's like, it's like silly putty, you take from a piece, you put it on it just sticks, and now it's part. Like, what does it mean that Hashem is taking a piece from Himself and giving it away? I feel like a lot of times I try to compare it to humans when they give something nice over to someone, they're giving a piece of them. But I don't think that's what it is. That's what I always thought it was. Like Hashem's just being nice and saying, "Here's your neshama. Here's a part of me which I'm giving to you." That's not what I think it is. I feel like He's like, it's like, I feel like it's silly putty. Like you take one, you add it on some mush, and now, ooh, you have bigger silly putty. Go you. So if someone could answer that question, that'd be really awesome because it's been bugging me out a little bit. And yeah, it's honestly amazing to see everyone here.
Your turn.
Water break. Let's see. You need to drink some water? You got some time for that. Oh, you bring up an interesting point, Chaim, because I'm thinking now. I am giving something of myself. I didn't really understand it at all. What is it? Like, what's giving a piece of myself? Am I giving it like a fire, or is it like... I feel like sometimes when I'm giving a part of myself, like even just to talk to someone or give someone like a smile or something, not all the time. A lot of time it's actually, the more I work in it, the better, the easier it is. But like sometimes it's just like, F this, I don't want to do this, but I'm literally just going outside of myself. I'm going to push myself to do it. I hate everyone. I hate everything, but I'm doing it. I don't see that as a fire. I think that's like, maybe it is a fire. I don't know. Maybe in order to keep my fire alive, I have to light someone else's. Just so I can have it for later. When mine burns out.
Woo! Like all great leaders, there was Aaron's feelings of inadequacy that truly made him fit for his role. Look at the Sefer Volume 22, pages 39 through 44. So awesome things. Yitzi, mind-blowing what you just said. It's genius. When the Jews were actually experiencing what it says in the Torah, they didn't know that they were being written down in the Torah. That's amazing. It's such a crazy deal. Oh. So now you're thinking about it. Oh, whatever. And it's also interesting because 2 turns ago you were saying about them. Like they were. And then this past turn you were saying we. So it was a cool switch that you did. Yeah, that is a very cool thought. And like, who says now is different? Right? Who says now is different? Like, maybe we're being written down in the Torah right now. I mean, like the same way it makes sense the first time, it can make sense now. Why not? Why not? Why not? It's got infinite depth, so then it's possible. So really good stuff. And Chaim, it's a great question. I think that fire is the greatest analogy. Imagine fire as its own entity, like fire. And fire is like, hey, let me give you some of my fire. It's not some of my fire, it's some of me. So you get some of me. So then there's fire there, the same with this fire here, because the actual idea of fire exists.
I was gonna say that I mean, when teachers like teach you something, like everyone knows everything about like different holidays. Everyone knows about Purim. Everyone knows about Pesach, about Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Shana, all these other holidays. I mean, like, do we really understand what it means? But like, when someone teaches you like something that you don't know, you're like, oh wow, he just gave me something to like he taught me something, and now it's like I can't like forget like yeah, he was the one that taught me it. Like if someone teaches you something, they're giving off that thing from their like they're saying it from their heart, and they're saying this is what we're learning, and this is how I'm explaining it to you instead of us reading the book and like saying, okay, these are the words, this and this, but like we don't really understand it. But when someone says it, like with their words, we understand what they're trying to say. Yeah. Yaska, it's your turn.
Itzi, good to see you, Chaim. Good to see you, Shalom. I've seen with Rabbi Shagala over here. Nice. Rabbi Shagala. Hello, Leila.
Atzlocha, guys. Atzlocha in learning.
I wish somebody had so much mitzvahs like he has. I wish I'm jealous of him all the time. I'm jealous of him. I'll be honest, I'm jealous of him. I'm jealous of him. It's crazy jealousy. I am. Listen. So, thank God I'm jealous because I can't comprehend. It's amazing stuff. So, Chaim, good to see you. And I was in the morning with you guys, and I said I'm going to open for a second. I'm involved. You learn daily wisdom. I don't know what you're talking about, but one thing I can tell you. We are the real people. That's it. We are the real people. I don't want to say the only, because there's flowers also. You know, there's the fish in the water also. So we are the real people. We are the real people. But there's also a lot of stuff, you know. So time for me, when you become reality, God doesn't have a choice to become reality. And you should know, it's so real. This is the only real thing. That's crazy. This is the only exist. Okay, so I want to wish you a great day. I'm going to have to hang up. Wow. So thank you very much. Amazing stuff. Okay, all the blessings.
Chaim.
Okay, wow, that was a lot taken from Yaska. Give me a second. Like, whoa. What was I gonna say? Oh, what Shalom was saying before about being fake and all those things like that, and still giving over to people. It's kind of funny because the Rebbe said, "Caravel Titan, change the world today." And if you think about it, it's he gave us the mission to change the whole entire world. Like that's insane. He's trusting a group of Chabad Hasidim to go outside and change the whole entire world. Like, what the heck? Think about it. It's like, Sean, if I'm telling you go change the world, it's like I can't do it. You can't do it. What? Like that's insane. But if you think about it, you walk down the hall, Shalom. You're in a pissed off mood. You have that, but you see one guy and you give him a smile. You just made his day, and now he's like, "Hey, what made my day? Shalom smile in the morning. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something else to make someone else happy. And guess what? Boom! You just started a chain, and that chain is gonna literally change. And that was just from that little piece of you that you gave to that person by faking a smile. Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, and I'm a big believer in that sometimes, not all the time. But even if you're faking it, there's a part of you that means it because there's a reason that you're faking it. So yes, yes, that's it. I got.
Woo! I was very happy to wake up this morning. I feel like since it was such a good start, I'm sorry. I don't really like have much to add on to that. I really like what you said though. I think it's true. We do have that effect. I think all of our actions have that effect. It's not just about like the positive; it's also the negative. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, I do have more. I did have stuff to say on that. In fact, as you can see from the words that are coming out of my mouth. Yeah, I was very happy to wake up this morning, and I've really seen like I've completely changed. I woke up at 6:20, and I was like, it was as if I was up for 6 hours. My brain was right there, and I was like, you know something, pretty cool. Like I've worked on like I think the awareness I've been working on, like in general, just being more aware of my thoughts, speech, and action. Like, what am I like thinking of? Like, what am I? I'm putting thoughts in my head, not letting thoughts get in there, and like that's had a change on like my energy level, like my aware. Like it's just done a lot of good for me. And I'm happy about that. Feel a lot more in control of my feelings. That's important.
Wow. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I'll tell you what, I really did enjoy what Yaska was saying, but I also really enjoyed Chaim's facial reactions to what Yaska is saying. He's like, "We're the only real people," and Chaim's like, "Okay, whatever." And then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to say only." He's like, "Because there's also flowers." Chaim's like, he's like, "Okay, he justified himself. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna say only." And then he's like, "Wait, because it's flowers?" That was good. Anyways, a lot of good stuff being said, and just want to talk about this a little bit to make it a little practical. Is that a lot of times when we think that when we're, like Sean, you were saying in the beginning, he said, you want to react in one way, and then you see that by reacting in like the opposite way, you actually get to where you wanted to go. So I think that's what today's thing is saying about humility, is that it seems, you want like recognition, you want to accomplish things, you want to reach like, you want to reach greatness. And the Torah tells you to do that through humility. You think like, no, humility, that seems counterintuitive. You're humble, then you're down, you're low. No, being humble, that's what makes you a leader. Interesting.
See. Oh, I remember now. You were talking about like how God is part of us. Like, how is that even like? How like? I mean, our parents are we are our parents really. Our parents like we have our parents' genes. Like my like different parents have different things that they give off to their children. I mean, it's the same thing as if God gave us like a part of Him. Like we have a part of our parents because our parents raised us, and like we have like if like by being nice it was what my parents did their whole life, like then you're gonna see that their children are nice and like caring and stuff, and that's like a trait from like that's part of their genes, that's part of the parents gave the like kindness and being like helpful to the children. um I mean, like God gave us different things, but like we are part of, yeah.
Wow. I think you're right. My facial expressions are getting better and better. I should take up an acting career or something. Just put Yuska's like voice notes on and then just go and act out. That's it. I could become the best actor. That's it. Um, it's funny because who are the people we remember? I mean, who are the people that keep on coming up is from deceased, the people who actually did something with their life, someone who did an act of kindness. And I'm saying in your family, the people that are deceased, when they're the only reason they're brought up is, wow, I remember when he did such a great thing and like that. No one ever really remembers the people that were a-holes. They always remember the good people. Because what do? You revolve yourself around good people. And you do good, you get good, you give good, you receive good. Good is like a little circle. It goes around and around and around. I'm not saying that if you do good, you can't expect bad. But it's all good. It's all good. Hashem is watching, even though sometimes we don't see it. Or no, I don't think we don't see it. Sorry. Sometimes we don't believe it. We see it, but we don't want to believe it, so we shut our mind off to it. We always see it. But God's always giving good. And yeah, Baruch Hashem, guys, it's amazing to be here, and I really have to join more often now that I run my own company. So I gotta, I got my own schedule, my own boss. I could do this. So yeah, have an adorable day, guys. I feel like it's my last minute. So adorable, guys, adorable.
It's really cool that you built your own company, and you're gonna obviously be very successful. Yeah, it's really awesome. Like I feel like you were like unsure about what you were doing, and now you're headed in a direction, and that's really cool. You found your path. I've like tried to observe people. I mean, I don't know, like it happens more when I'm like an outsider to a situation that I'll like observe. When I'm an insider, like when I'm already part of a group, it's like I just am. But like when I'm an outsider, it's like easier to see. So like I just try to observe to see like where would I fit in. But I see like the really good people are like you can tell when someone is being good just by how much they talk about themselves. Like I talk about myself a lot and I want to work on that, but I think that people who don't talk about themselves, who are like, I have a lot to say about myself. I mean, like, I know myself, I want to just speak about myself all day, but if I find time to talk about someone else, that's really where the value is. Hi, you're beautiful. Yeah, to you too. Isaac, you too. I mean, that wasn't much of like an attempt or anything, but like giving someone real attention it's hard, but it's very valuable to whoever's getting the attention.
And it works.
Yeah.
Is the time up? Yeah?
We got
Such good stuff. I'm joking.
what do you want to say?
All right, Yasher Koyach.
What,
I want to
phone
say
doesn't work or
that it's
something?
amazing stuff.
I don't know
You
why.
know, there's thought, speech, and action.
Thank you.
Thinker, speaker,
Actor.
actor. Never thought about that, huh? Neither did I.
That was good. I like that.
We're all actors.
And you know what else? About your Caravel thing?
What?
Every movie is like some guy saving the whole world. I mean, come on. Every movie you have to do that? Why you have to do that? In order to help us see it. So really, yeah. One guy could do it. Anyways.
We want a book. We want a book. Isaac, write a book.
We want a book.